Previously on OATHSWORN.
If Lance is talking to Whisper, we need to wrap this up quickly.
Anyone who wants to come with me is more than welcome to.
Real is the ground you can walk on.
I heard Skydagger's on fire.
Well, why don't you come see for yourself?
Lance.
So I think something weird happens.
Okay.
When Karla walks in, I think now they're both seeing Lydia.
Great. Good. Where's Lydia?
Still at the bar talking to Lance. Unless they moved somewhere else.
Sure. No, that's a perfect place for Lydia.
So Lance gestured at Karla, but then kind of continued being sassy with Whisper. What does Karla do?
I was gonna say, does Karla walk in and then you look back and now Whisper looks like Lydia?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go.
Lance does not flinch though.
Absolutely, no, of course not. Too cool for school. Yeah.
What does she do?
Whisper as Lydia, I think. Pulls out another glass and pours it out for Karla. I think this is probably just water, knowing Karla's temperament.
Yeah. Lance looks to Karla and says, just in time for group therapy. We were talking about the future.
I wasn't aware you had one.
Rip.
I do recognize that my presence here makes my existed somewhat forfeit to whatever may be. But Whisperer here was just telling me about their romantic plans.
Oh, good.
Plans of leaving this place behind while their good friend Ruin composts it.
I think Whisper sort of shrugs and takes a shot. And Karla is like, I don't know what I expected from getting in a deal with the former chosen of the god of love, fire, and secrets, but I guess you get what you sign up for. God damn. How long has he even been here? You're talking his ear off.
Was that directed at Lance?
No, that was a Whisper. But I'm not going to have two characters I control talk to each other.
Yeah. I think Lance just says oh, you knew we were going to have to make this work. The three of us.
If my God.
She grabs... what are you drinking out of?
Lance?
Yeah.
Well, you said that Whisper poured him a drink, right?
Yes, that's true.
Because he also brought out a flask of something.
Yeah. But you also have a
So
glass.
I think he's double fisting.
Yeah, of course.
So he has whatever drink that Whisper poured for him, and then he also has a flask that he's kind of returning to a pocket in his lapel.
Great. Karla takes the other glass out of your hand and breaks it with one hand without looking at you.
Do you have something you want to say?
Ignoring you, looking at Whisper. It's almost here.
Brendan, do you want one of the rest of the three of us to be one of these two characters?
That'd probably be smarter. Does someone want to play Karla?
I'm happy to. I'm happy to be either of these people, or Gavin or Kris, please.
Yeah. Why don't you play Karla?
Sure, yeah. It's almost here.
Well, I'm sure we'll be along soon. Whisper was just convincing me.
Lance, I was not talking to you.
This is an officer of the Legion. Should address him by his proper title.
He gives the kind of smile that would have like a sparkle mark in a cartoon.
We don't have time for this.
You're right. Whisper throws their own glass to the floor, shattering it. It's time! And like the entire bar and the crowd outside like erupts, like cheering, like absolutely thrilled that it is finally time to escape.
All right.
What's your title now? If I'm supposed to use the right one.
Oh, mine?
Yeah, who else?
Marshall. It's Marshall.
Yeah, I'm the marshal.
Marshall Lance. All right, Marshall. She like pokes a finger into your chest. All right, Marshall. Get out of this town.
No.
Or if I see you again.
Well, listen.
Oh my God.
They'd be useful.
You just want to have fun.
I do at all times. But they would legitimately be useful. You know what's inside there.
She like looks Lance up and down. He couldn't even pull the trigger.
We don't
Does
know
she
that.
know that?
We don't know that.
No, this is her belief.
Oh, okay. I think that's like the first thing that she says that like makes him flinch.
And immediately, like, Whisper is like inexplicably on the other side of the bar and like puts a hand around your shoulder and says, Abuna Lance is destined for great things.
Karla rolls her eyes hard and says, fine, have your toy. Let's go.
I'm going to, as is my duty, marshal my people, but I'll meet you there.
Don't be late. And she does uses her hands to like point at her eyes and then at your eyes.
How about a kiss before you go?
Jesus Christ.
And Lance leans in,
Is this what
puts
flirting is like?
No, it's not.
I mean, I imagine Lance is a pretty neurotypical person, so this is my interpretation of a really cool neurotypical man trying to flirt, but I don't know.
Oh.
Give me a consort.
I had I was trying to posture at a whole fucking thing
100%.
before we got into the weeds about if this was flirting.
Yeah, no, please.
Because I'm about to do something like 10 times more insane. So he like leans in, puts his arm around the small of her back, and like
This is fine.
and it's gonna go in.
Well, I think you need to make a consort roll to convince Whisper that like that's where this is heading.
This is a feint, though.
Yeah, this is
Oh,
a
that's
deception.
true. You're lying. Okay, yeah. So I think you have to sway into this position because Whisper does have other priorities. But I will say, I think it's just risky standard. I think you're at risky standard position
Wow.
to try and convince Whisper to kiss you.
Okay. Does my lost harm come into play here?
No, you just have the one level 2 harm. It doesn't affect your dice.
Okay.
You can push yourself. You can devil's bargain. You can do all kinds of stuff here.
I can't.
You can
devil's
always
bargain.
ask for a devil's bargain.
You can devil's bargain.
You can also trade position for effect. My favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. Because like I was trying to save my like last bits of resources for like the big thing. But this is like the
100%.
prelude to the big thing.
It just depends how badly you want to kiss someone.
Mhm.
God.
Well, I have 3d6. This could be
If you get to 46 with 50-50 odds, you get a 6.
What would a devil's bargain be here? Because I was pretty much actually, because it's a devil's bargain or a push yourself, right? In this game.
No, you
Not
can do both.
Okay, because I was definitely going to ask for a devil's bargain for the following action, but
With tongue.
Sure.
Jesus.
oh my god, what would a devil's bargain be here?
The devil's bargain is, if you follow through on this, it's going to give you an instant level of blight.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine.
Okay. How are you taking that?
Like which blight am I taking?
No, I mean, are you taking that as position, effect, or dice?
I'm going to put it towards dice.
Okay. Risky standard 46.
Wow.
4, 3, 2, 2.
Okay.
Motherfucker.
Remember,
Lance can't
remember
roll
how
above a fucking 4.
the cool thing always gets punished, no matter what.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Avery is very consistent in that way.
Okay. 2 things happen here. One, out in the streets, the Tailos and the Eyes of Smoke begin surging towards the omniculum, flooding towards it. The bird-masked Eyes of Smoke that are here are overcome as they begin rushing towards the door of the place. The second thing that happens is Whisper, as Lydia, steps in, accepting your invitation, and says simply, "Remember, this world rewards hope, but punishes naivete," and kisses you.
So,
Well, what blight do you take?
oh yeah, I need to figure that out first. Let's see what my options.
What's the effect of kissing Whisper
Your lips
in terms
become
of blight?
eyes. Your lips fall off. This is your first blight, though, so it's not terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty minimalistic. Maybe you just have like constantly blackened lips, like you're wearing black lipstick now.
But in a gross way?
I have a thought, but it's kind of cheesy.
Tell me.
What if like Whisper kisses him on the like nape of the neck or something like that, and it leaves like a lip print?
Absolutely.
Marked.
I love this.
Isn't that kind of what happened? Oh, isn't that Lydia, the first time back in Loggerhead, Lydia kissed him on the cheek, and it's like Lance can still feel that, or could still feel that burning, because I think it gave him some corruption. What if Whisper kissed like the same spot and it does that?
Now it's visible.
Beauty mark.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Which blade is that?
Take
Mutation?
take mutated, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Does it speak?
We'll see.
Not yet.
Not at
Great.
level 1.
Yeah.
Sick.
all right.
I can work
so
with this.
No.
that was phase 1 of this thing that's happening.
Yep.
I'm going to spend my last point of channels here.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
What are you spending that on?
I'm trying to figure out how this exactly would have gone down, but Lance wants to acquire the knife that Azar had.
The thing in Azar's pocket?
Matthew, tell us what Azar had in his pocket.
I'm just going to straight up read the thing that I wrote like a year ago.
Okay.
This is not a surprise to anybody in this call who's now seen me copy and paste this into the chat a while back, but I'll read it out. In Commander Azar's pocket was a leather pouch. An experienced observer would have recognized it instantly as a reliquary. Tattooed skin of an ancient chosen turned to leather and sewn shut with wax-dipped hair. But its purpose was for more than just holy protection. Hidden within it was a small blade, a knife as dark as the night sky. Literally, in this case, a piece of the night sky fallen to the ground, or more specifically, a tiny piece of a fallen tooth of the dead god. This blade had been passed down many lines of Arcadian emperors and later quiet seditionists. Its power, they say, was as simple as it was terrifying. When bedded into anything, the knife cut it off from the divine. Now, the knife itself was hardly more dangerous than a letter opener, but struck into a chosen, it made these powerful beings no more powerful than any mortal, and some of them weaker still. Many chosen relied on their divinity to keep their impossible existence stable. But even if this was not the case, a bullet would do the trick. You wouldn't even need black shot.
Dorado has this knife now.
What if Dorado never had it?
Oh, yeah?
What if Azar gave it to Lance before Azar
shit.
marched off to his death?
I'm into that.
What is that like?
There was the night where Azar pulled Lance into the tent and we didn't see what happened.
Mm-hmm.
I think we see what happened.
Do you want to do that scene?
Sure.
Oh my God.
Just briefly.
I don't think there's a lot to it. I think that
Yeah.
Azar and Marshall are there. Gavin, if you want to be Marshall
Mhm.
one more time. And on the table of Azar's tent, which is always covered in papers, it's weirdly bare, and there's just this little pouch. And Azar says, Lance, there's something I want you to hold for me.
You sure have been giving me a lot of responsibility lately.
I wouldn't give you anything I didn't think you could hold, Lance.
Hold on to.
Hold on to.
Is this one of those I'll know what to do when the time is right kind of things, or is it not a story like that?
No. We wouldn't hand this over without explaining. You're going to kill Sirkali with this.
If it comes to it.
I sure hope it doesn't.
Azar clasps you on the shoulder, and he says, regardless, Lance, if there was anyone who would know the right thing to do with this, it'd be you. You pulled the trigger, after all.
What? Why would he say that?
Azar knows just what to say.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Oh my God. All right. So
Yep.
one of his lapel pockets had the whiskey in it. The other one has this knife.
Sure.
And I imagine he went in for the first kiss. Whisper sort of returned it and kissed him in the spot to sort of like mark him.
Uh-huh.
And then he goes in for another kiss and then slides the knife out of his lapel pocket or his jacket pocket and tries to push it through Whisper's heart.
Okay. I think this is this skirmish?
Yeah.
I guess it must be.
There's no prowl.
Damn.
There is no
Yeah,
problem.
because I was trying to make this all one big sway thing, but then you had me do the sway as the
So
setup.
no, I think you set yourself up well. So you get some kind of advantage, which you're gonna need because this is desperate limited.
Well, was that a setup action then? that I
Yeah,
did before?
that's what I think. So
Okay.
I am explicitly not saying what the knife can or cannot do. I'm not gonna say that it's a fine effect or anything like that. I don't think you can rely upon it because we do not know explicitly if it will work or not. I think this is all down to the roll. So you're starting at desperate limited. You gave yourself a good setup action, so you can use that to improve either dice position or effect. You can use all the other avenues available.
Okay. Well, I am gonna push myself.
Okay.
That leaves me with one stress left before I die.
What a way to go.
So I start with 2. So this is definitely skirmish.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so I start with 2 dice in that. I'm getting a +1 for a setup action, and I'm getting a +1 for
Pushing yourself.
pushing myself.
Yep.
What's a devil's bargain here? Happy to take another blight.
Yeah. Fair.
The blood spills on you. I don't know. The star falls all the way.
No. The devil's bargain here is if you die, if and when you die, Whisper claims you as his own.
Seems appropriate for the narrative up to this point.
I think so.
All right. I'm going to take that. All right.
All
So
right.
I currently have 2 dice, and I have 3 sources of improvement.
Totally.
I need to do something about that limited for sure.
Yep.
But I feel like I only really need to push that to standard. Because if this is a magic knife, like something's going to happen, even though I don't know. Or like at least in Lance's heart, something is going to happen here.
Sure. Lance could believe that.
But like he believes in all this hero shit. So like,
Yeah.
I don't know that this doesn't seem illogical for him to do.
Life's worked out for him so far.
Yeah, especially with the kinds of rash decisions that he tends to make.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to use one of those improvements to put this to standard. I don't know if I care about this being desperate because, like, if I fail here, like, I'm pretty much fucked anyways.
Sure.
If Waloot's close enough to the door that he can see inside, could they help
Shoot.
somehow? Sorry, not Waloot, Jemma. If
Jemma.
Jemma's close enough to the door that he could see inside, could they help somehow?
Sure. Yeah, I'd allow that. Everyone else is like hurrying to get out of here. These are practically the only people left.
Right, and then assumably it's also 2 rookies and Ashling in the bar as well.
Yeah, I think so. I think Karla is still here. Karla is waiting for Whisper to leave before she leaves.
Probably by the door.
Yeah.
Is this something where like Waloot could? Sorry, not Waloot. Why do I keep saying that?
I don't know.
That Jemma could spot. Just bad at names. That Jemma could spot like Karla was clearly waiting on something and try to like distract her to like bring some tension off of Lance.
Yeah, just slit her throat.
No, I don't think so.
I don't know. The desperation here is coming entirely from Whisper.
Yeah, fair. Maybe this is a like calling to Lance through the window, which might like distract Whisper somewhat.
Maybe, yeah.
Do you have
Or-
reliquaries?
I have reliquaries. I could throw a reliquary at her.
Smoke bomb.
At them both. Yeah.
Just light up some more hair and throw it in the door.
I think what would honestly distract Whisper right now is knowing that there is something more important to be doing. And so if there's something
Yeah,
that-
what if Jemma like pops in the door and is just like, sir, there's people are like running at the omniculum. Should we do something about that? Because that's also like, hey, Whisper, that thing you're here for.
Well, hold on.
Yeah.
Jemma can just lie. Jemma knows what the thing is now. Jemma can be like, Lance, the star's here.
Yeah, that would do
The
it.
star
That would do it.
fell.
The star
Yeah.
fell. Yeah, it's already fallen.
Absolutely. Yeah. Mark stress.
Okay, I'll take a stress for that.
Is there any sort of potency I gain here just from Lance sort of cultivating himself as the main character at the bar?
Not in Grimdark.
or is that just what got me into this position in the first place where I'm even able to attempt something like this?
There's a massive tier difference as well that we're kind of hand waving thanks
are.
to that and the knife. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of taking that into account by making it desperate limited, but yeah, I think
Gotcha.
the folks that kind of were on your side have kind of rushed out, and that is kind of just sort of like put you in this position to be able to try the thing in the first place, right?
Okay.
So desperate limited, you have 4 sources of advancement here.
Yeah. Okay. So one of them, actually, here's what's going to happen. I think the most interesting thing here is keeping it desperate. I don't think there's any world where this isn't desperate.
Great.
So I'm going to bump up effect twice to great,
Great.
and I'm going to add 2 dice to the roll.
Desperate great 46.
Here we go.
My favorite
Don't
thing
forget to
here.
mark XP.
Uh-huh.
Should I do my one-liner first?
Do you do one-liners whenever you kiss people?
No,
You
but I
don't?
think he has like a retort here.
Okay.
To what
Yeah, absolutely.
she just said.
Yeah.
Say it now in case you die.
Yeah. He's both grasping the like rosary in his hand and the knife at the same time. The rosary is like sort of around his palm as it grabs the what is it called on a sword? The like I guess the handle.
Hill.
Well, the hilt is
Hilt?
the part that protects
There's-
your hand from.
there's
from-
no hilt on this. It's just like a spike.
Yeah. Okay.
Like a star shiv.
So he's holding the rosary in one hand in this. Maybe the most pious thing he's ever done, trying to kill a fell god.
Right.
And he says, I couldn't have said it any better myself. Here's to hope.
Yes!
Yes!
Sick.
Yes!
Let's
Holy
go! Baby!
That is a 2, a 6, a 5, and a 5. Lance is a fucking mess coming out of this, but something's gonna happen here.
Whisper's eyes go wide. Just whispers. Bitch. Whisper like pushes you away and starts to stagger. I think the start knife is like lodged in their rib, and there's like black blood like spurting from it. Karla charges you, sprints towards you. In the meanwhile, however, the folks outside, the like massive crowd of Tailos, think that it's time to go and arrive at the omniculum and begin to pull the doors open.
Uh-oh.
One last thing. I'm imagining that picture of Anne Hathaway where she's like kissing a woman who's holding a sword.
Yeah.
But
Anne Hathaway is
all three of
Whisper.
them are Lance.
I was going to say that Anne Hathaway was Whisper, but okay.
Great.
Oh, hey, can we stop them from opening the doors? That seems bad.
Yeah, Nikolaj, Waloot, Jemma, what are y'all doing?
I think we need to extract Lance.
Well, I think we...
Oh, is it just extract Lance and we bounce? Because...
Oh, okay. So as player characters, real quick, or as people, not as player characters, but as people.
no, I'm in this game.
Out of character.
Out of character. Thank you. Jeez. Okay. So what I was going to say is we're very low on resources.
Yes.
And so I think we can win this mission in terms of like, we know what everybody is up to, I think, at this point. As long as we get Lance out of here and just leave.
Yeah.
I think that's true. I think you have satisfied the mission criteria at this stage.
So
I think we can do that.
So that if that's
My-
that's a given now.
No. That's actually I will say that's contingent on a lot of stuff that Lance and only Lance knows.
Right,
So I
which is
think
why
you
we
have
need to get him out.
Yeah, if Lance like dies in the middle of this, I don't know if you win the mission because a
Right.
lot of the information
Oh.
is in Lance's head.
Oh, yikes.
So if we take that as a given, as like one option in front of us, that would also mean we'd be okay with Karla and maybe Whisper trying to do whatever if she survives this or whatever happens, them trying to do whatever they're doing in terms of like going into space or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine with that. I think that's interesting. I think it's interesting for us to have gotten this information and then try to leave with Lance. But I wanted to check in with player characters. What are y'all interested in?
Yeah,
So, like, character, like, Waloot wise, the first time we saw her on screen, she saw the temple being burned down, or the barn or whatever, where, like, civilians were that she had, like, scouted ahead for,
Mm-hmm.
and, like, having to be held back to not just, like, run into the middle of danger.
Sure.
So I think she's gonna see maybe Jemma shout something that's like, "Oh shit, Lance, what have you done?" or something.
Right.
Or, "Oh shit, Lance." And like Waloot's gonna run in, not thinking about the mission.
Into the bar.
Into the bar to either help fight or probably just trip Karla, fireman carry Lance out of there.
That's interesting. That's you can see very clearly the Tailos opening the omniculum.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's some weird magic shit that Waloot doesn't entirely understand.
Fair.
What she does understand is that a comrade's in danger.
Absolutely fair.
Kris, you were saying something.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask Ian, what was the issue with the people in the omniculum getting out? Was like they are all very powerful, and it is terrifying for I don't remember what reason, or just general. Oh, that can't be good kind of reasons.
There was a prophecy.
Yeah, I don't remember what it
Okay,
was.
yeah. So the story that you remembered is that the Chosen that was here was trapped. It was eventually beheaded and trapped here by its 3 strongest servitors, incredibly powerful members of the Eyes of Smoke, who became tyrants within their order, and only because they were so paranoid of one another that they refused to leave one another's company within the Omniculum, that they were sealed inside, along with the head of their Chosen.
Mm-hmm. So the fear there was just like, they get out, they're going to resume whatever it is they were doing when they were sealed in there. Or worse. I just can't remember if like
I don't think you know that. I think you just know that these are 3 very, if they're still alive, they've been alive for hundreds of years, which means that, there's these are very similar, I think, to the like strange knights that were in the Forged Chosen's tomb.
Yeah.
But they didn't agree to be here.
Right.
They have just been here.
Right.
Okay.
We can just give them Lance's other hand. It's fine.
Yeah, because I feel like Nikolaj does not want people to open the doors, but if they're currently in the process of doing that, like, it doesn't sound like he has enough time to stop them. Like they're going to, where they are.
I know. If that's a priority for you, I would say, yeah, you can take action to stop. Like, the doors are not yet open.
Okay.
You just have to tell me what you're going to do in order to stop them.
Yeah, that's a great question. That's the question.
Well, hold on. Before we get to what Nikolaj wants here, what is Kris interested in here?
Right.
I mean, I think I'm okay with the, like, we get Lance and we get out while we can, because, like, yeah, things seemed, like, wild enough when we were like, oh, there's a still living ? Chosen in that omniculum, and also some guys who are trouble, and that seemed bad enough. And then we found out Whisper was here, so, like, getting out at all seems like a win. But if we could, like, get some of the Tailos to go with us, I think that would be cool.
Sure.
Because there were some who seemed like they would prefer that.
How are people reacting? Because there's like 2 insane things happening at the same time in different directions.
I mean, most everyone except for the Legionnaires and Karla are out of the bar at this point. So, like, yeah, pretty much all of the folks that are here are, like, surging towards the Omniculum where this star is.
So part of the reason why I wanted to do this check-in was to figure out what did we want as players, and it seems like we're all pretty on board.
Yeah.
The same rough plan. And then we can figure out as characters what are we doing about that. It sounds like the most interesting thing here is Nikolaj. Is there a world where, like, Nikolaj orders Waloot and Jemma to, like, get Lance out of there, along with, like, the rookies and Aisling and stuff like that, while Nikolaj goes and, like, tries to reason with some of these Tailos?
Yeah, there's an option. I don't know what he says to that effect, because there's like,
well, like, Waloot made ahead with the older ones, so Nikolaj could probably just be like, "Hey, we're gonna leave now. Are you coming?"
Sure.
Yeah. I'm still, like, waffling on whether. Yeah, I guess he just doesn't try to. There's.
Let the other ones jump into this orb of annihilation.
Yeah, I think what's interesting here is that, like, Nikolaj's story has been one of, like, always opting for survival. And is this simply the continuation of that, or is this like bucking the trend? And either one is interesting.
Yeah, because it's like, I don't I think he doesn't think that these people know quite what it, like, at least the Tailos don't quite know what is in there and what they are, like, you open those doors, that's bad. That's bad things. And he probably thinks, like, okay, I don't think you actively want to make things worse here.
No, they're fine.
You
They
just-
have a broken on their side.
Do they, though? Are broken ever really on your side, though?
Well,
That doesn't seem like a thing. But yeah, I guess it's like, yeah, I might just go for continuing survival because it's like, yeah, I don't know these fucking people. Like,
it's worked this far.
yeah, he's kind of like, so long as I get out alive, that's fine.
Could we do this as like a group maneuver? Because Karla is running at Lance. Could this be like Waloot and Jemma run in to try to like get her off balance enough to get Lance out of there or something like that?
Yeah, like a coordinated clothesline,
Right.
grab Lance,
I-
get out.
I
Mhm.
want to say yes, but I don't think so because you're both coming from such different positions.
I'm close. I'm outside the door.
You're outside the door, but Waloot was from somewhere else. Like you
That's
weren't
true.
you weren't acting in concert before this point. Is my
Sure.
point. So I think one of you could set the other one up, but I don't think it could be a group action.
Fair.
Well, I get plus 1d to maneuver when I charge an enemy that outnumbers or it guns me.
That's Karla.
Mhm.
Karla outguns you.
Karla does outgun you.
That seems correct.
Is in
Because
terms of
then
a gun show.
maybe it's like, because also Waloot's got like more distance and can just build up that run
Yep.
to just get Karla out of the way, and then Jemma was last in the bar, kind of knows about the layout of where everyone is in there, can just
Right.
grab everyone and make sure they get out.
Totally.
Okay. This sounds like 2 rolls.
Yeah.
I'll take. Can I clear the stress and then push myself?
Can you
Well,
clear the stress and
how would you?
So I clear a stress and get plus 1d with over the top.
Oh.
Mm.
But that would make me trauma, so I should probably not do that.
You can push yourself with a corruption.
Yeah, I'll push myself with corruption.
All right. So you're to be clear, you're trying to neutralize Karla, at least for a moment.
Yeah.
So Karla is tier 2. This is risky standard.
We've done nothing but anger this woman.
She's an angry lady, to be fair.
But justified.
Justified.
Okay. So I push myself and I get plus 1d. I clear a stress. So I got 2 stress to work with.
Is there a Gavin, is there some like weird fucked up signifier of you pushing yourself with corruption?
Yeah. So I think what this looks like is I run in and immediately am hit with this wall of reliquary smoke.
Mm.
And star stuff is like, we're gonna autoimmune disease you real quick. And Waloot's like, not now, please. And the star stuff is like, okay, bargain. More of you, please.
There's like black veins spreading across your skin.
And Waloot's like, okay, more of me, but not now.
Jesus.
So yeah, effectively desperate standard.
Can I get a devil option?
Oh, a devil option. Absolutely. The devil option here is, I think the like separatist Tailos, like the older generation, that is not down with this plan, is going to begin to like leave on their own accord.
Would Nikolaj still be, if that goes through, would Nikolaj still be able to try to like get them to
You
come
can
with us?
absolutely
Is that
still
on the
try.
table?
It's
Okay.
still on the table. It's just going to be harder.
Okay. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'd take this as dice.
Okay. You're still at desperate standard.
Desperate standard, 4d6. Maneuver.
There's a crit.
Let's
go! Yo! Let's go!
Critical success.
Let's go!
Yeah. What do you do?
I don't need Jemma to grab Lance, because I just with my fine heavy weapon cut through Karla's Achilles tendon,
Jesus.
run past her, and pick up Lance, keep going, running out the back of the bar.
Yeah.
Just out the window.
Penthos opens the window for you.
Oh my god.
See, I told you.
Behind you, you can hear Whisper howling. Howling in pain and in rage. As the star descends and their window of opportunity begins to vanish. They stagger towards the door, but they are in no state to face the creatures within the omniculum. The sky shard remains lodged in their chest. Darkness and fire are pouring from the wound. Stolen divinity is leaking onto the floor and melting everything it touches. They look, well, you know what Whisper looks like. Imagine them now, looking up at the sky as they bleed, their chance lost. They will remain part of Zel Sha'el and its tragic story. Imagine, as they do, what the Cinder King will do to them when he comes to reclaim his wayward minion.
Nikolaj, let's cut to you.
Yeah, sure.
People like
I hear
double loading up on these like sledges and like telling their goats to get the fuck out of town.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Nikolaj goes over to. Would he be able to tell like, oh, Serj is somewhat in charge here? Like, does someone look in charge?
Serj is the only one with a big wizard hat and a staff. He's absolutely in charge.
And that's a nice of smoke. I can respect that. Okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna go over to the wizard. Like you have to. Yeah. Where will you go?
Fucking out.
East is the only direction. We are headed that way. There's strength in numbers. Come with us.
Give me a risky limited sway.
Ooh. Okay. Sway.
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 No, we can't make this Migos again.
They'll show up soon enough. Don't worry.
Oh, good, and also great. I'm wondering what's a sort of precaution I could have had ready for this moment.
You could have a map back to the Legion position. You could have proof that the Skydagger is safer than they think.
That's true. Because I'm wondering if there's like something that Nikolaj could know to say to like older Tailos people that he might have picked up from Kaio because they were spending a lot of time talking to Karla.
And actually, I really like paying off their skepticism about Skydagger of like we know how to handle the situation there. It will be safe when we get there.
Yeah. Because I'm just trying to like piece it together because they like want some kind of like reassurance of like material security, like safety.
Exactly. They want to believe that Skydagger is safe, but everything they know about it suggests that it's not.
Yeah. So then I think like maybe Nikolaj like goes into wherever he's got all these books, and instead of taking out like a book, takes out a I like the idea of it being like a letter or something that maybe he like took from Sofina's stuff.
Uh-huh.
And although Sofina didn't have plans to die, to not be the Emperor of Novara, right?
Sofina had a lot of plans and a lot of contingencies.
Okay, great.
I mean, she had literally a big stack of envelopes for in case I get arrested. I'm sure she had other contingencies.
This is true. Yeah, because Gavin, you had described her just like having an aide send out a bunch of letters. Could this be like one that never got sent or one that Nikolaj somehow intercepted? And like it details a plan to go east, if not to Voa, Skydagger, go to Skydagger, it will be safe. And that's like signed from like the head of the Eyes of Smoke.
Yeah, maybe it's like a little blood splattered. Maybe like Waloot had found it on the desk.
Mm.
If you go to Skydagger, here's what to do to make it safe.
Yeah. Oh, what if like, what? Because it was like Sofina gets back to her office and like, surprise, Waloot is there. What if it was like on her desk because she had been writing it before she left her office? And then comes back and that's why there's...
This is now the plan.
Mm-hmm. She can like sense, she can see like, okay, things are turning this way, so I'll still have Novara, but like I'll need agents in the east as well.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah. And can just give that to them.
Push yourself to reveal a precaution you've had ready for just this moment.
So do I still get the push yourself?
You get the regular
dice
bonus.
Okay.
And yeah, take 2 advantages
And
for
that.
that.
Ooh. Okay. I probably want to die and to get to standard.
Sure. So 2d6 risky standard.
So,
Could offer your devil's bargain here.
yup. I would love to hear one.
Oh, they said yes. Well, I think the Tailos at the Omniculum are going to throw open the doors.
Wow. Are we all okay with that happening?
I love when doors are opened.
Look, I'm not okay with it, but I can't stop it.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to get that head, but I was like nowhere near
I'm
that
always saying
situation,
this.
so I don't really have a say.
Who knows? Maybe that head will show up later.
Oh, maybe it'll be...
I chose a much different battle this time.
I fear
Listen.
I fear the Omniculum so much.
I know I'm your GM, and I know that
Uh-huh.
I have a biased interest in here, but in the words of Sheev Palpatine, do it.
Nah. Okay. Let's unleash hell. It'll be fine and good and also fine. Yeah, okay. So 3 dice, risky, standard, sway.
3 dice,
Okay.
risky standard sway.
Okay. Can I?
Uh-huh. That's a 4, a 2, and a 1, so it's a mixed success.
It is a 4, a 2, and a 1. I also have this point of weave, though, and I've never used weave. And weave is fun because it lets me reroll dice.
Tell us about Weave.
Yeah, it says weave is an action that augurs specialize and train in. Unlike most actions, it's not rolled, but its rating determines its use's permission. Whenever any player. I should have read that more carefully. Whenever any player rolls dice after you have seen the results, but before they take effect, you can spend a point of weave. You can spend stress 1 for 1 to let that player reroll that many dice from the pool. Describe how you intercede.
Yeah.
Maybe that's better spent on resisting whatever consequence I can't avoid, or whatever consequence I can't avoid.
I mean, it's really interesting to imagine using it at this juncture. I'm really curious. Like you said, we've not seen it. I'm interested to see like how Nikolaj like manifests that in the world.
Because like currently there is a success here. There's some
mixed
amount of success.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So like I think I would rather use it to get no success to a success.
Yeah, that's absolutely reasonable.
So then I'm gonna hang on to it for now.
Okay.
Because I may need to resist a thing anyway.
So, Serj says, okay, we'll go with you. Lead on. The Tailos at the Omniculum throw open the doors. And in a rush, the figures begin like... There's a part of your brain that wants to say they're stomping, but that's not what they're doing. They're like loping. It's almost like seeing like a massive antelope or a giraffe or something moving. They're so much taller. They're so much longer than they should be. They're still humanoid, but it's like they're stretched. Like every part of them over the years has just been extruded. One of them immediately, like as soon as they begin, like I can't stress this enough. It's as if the figures that you saw previously that were like calmly sitting in the middle of the floor or waiting on the other side of this door for it to be opened are just like charging forward, each of them like 20 feet tall. And they swing one of their arms, except it's more like a tentacle, and like a dozen Tailos go flying, and all of them scream. And they begin to run.
This is a Dark Souls boss now.
These are monsters that I'm calling auspexes, like the bird oracles of ancient Rome. They are not here to view the flights of birds. They are here to kick ass and chew gum, and they are all out of gum. And they are tearing ass, and just the sight of them, Nikolaj, fills you with corporeal dread. Take the level 2 harm, terror.
Great. Is there any corruption with that?
Absolutely there is.
Feels like there should be.
Yeah. You can resist either or. Sounds like you're taking the level 2 harm?
Yeah, I just don't know if I want him to trauma here. I mean, it seems like it would be an appropriate time to, but,
No, we need to get you out of here.
Yeah. Because if Lance is being carried over a shoulder, then...
Yeah.
I'm, like, next in command, and that's... Yeah, the trauma's not a good idea now.
Lance is just like, hey, I can walk!
Loot.
Last time we let you do that, you walked into a bar to talk to Whisper.
Hey, I'm your commanding officer!
It's hard to say what does more damage. The auspexes finally freed of the Omniculum, tearing apart the town where they once held sway. Or the star descending. Small white figures bursting forth, clasping at whatever signs of life they could find, clutching them so dear that they disappear. But you and a contingent of the Tailos escape and live to see another day.
How's Waloot feel about seeing the star people again? Again?
She's not gonna
Does Waloot
react.
Yeah, does Waloot look back at all?
I mean, yeah, I think she does. And maybe Nikolaj can give her a pregnant stare. And she doesn't show anything. She's pulling a lark.
I'm imagining a scene where she's like putting down Lance, and Lance is like complaining at her, but she's not listening to a single word that he's saying. She's like staring at the stars.
Are you all at like the ridge of the caldera, like looking down into the town?
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you the last thing you see then, which is that over the opposite ridge comes the slow but determined form of one of the Narrows, the great sky serpents, determined to fetch its master and bring it back to the Never Forces. OATHSWORN is an actual play podcast created by
Devin Nelson,
Gavin Fregeau,
Kris Allison,
Matthew Guzdial,
and me, Brendan McLeod. All music for the show is created by Devin Nelson. Find it and more at devindecibel.bandcamp.com. Find a link to their music and any of the games that we've played in the podcast description. Follow us at OathSwornPod on Twitter or at oathswornpodcast.com. If you enjoyed the show, please consider sharing it with a friend or rating us 5 stars on your podcast platform of choice. Until next time.